Hi there, my name is Miss Heather and Miss Angie is here with me today as well. And this is just a little lesson on using a GPS, a Global Positioning System unit, and it will teach you how to go geocaching. So first things first, I typically ask that you hold your unit in your right hand so that everybody is pressing the buttons with your thumb, with the same thumb. Okay, so first things first, when you power it on, you just kind of push and hold it for a little bit. And then you need it to talk to the satellites in the sky. And so we've had these on for a few minutes already. So just make sure when you are outside, you might want to do that as well with the kids. So first things first, your buttons. With your thumb, there's a kind of a button on top of the power button that is called the page button. And so in my video that we do for the children, if I say page, I'm actually asking you to do that twice then. It is not a touch screen. A lot of times the children will think that it is, and it does not work that way. On your pointer finger then, you have an up arrow and a down arrow, and also you have an enter button. So if I say okay or enter, that is truly what I'm asking you to push here, okay? So I typically hide the buttons that are in the tub. You can also hide a pill bottle with a little piece of paper in there that will eventually make a sentence. So you can do that as well if that's more preferred. It just depends on what you want to do and how much space you have at the school. So today, we're going to wait for those satellites up in the sky to talk to the GPS unit, and it has to have 3 for the machine to triangulate your position here on Earth. And so once that is done, then it'll say ready to navigate. Here's the tricky part about that. It'll give you an accuracy. Currently my model says 24 feet, okay? So that means if I hid something behind me at this particular stump, that you could be 24 feet in a circle around from that, and it will still tell you that you have arrived at that stump. So that messes kids up a little bit. Tell them to be as patient as that they can in order to work with that accuracy level. So first thing, you'll push page and page. The second page will bring you to a screen that says ready to navigate, and it'll give you that compass, and that is going to show up with an arrow the next time it tells you to walk somewhere. So right now it shouldn't say anything because we've not told it to go anywhere just yet. Then if you page again, you'll have trip odometer. You'll also have max speed, moving average, time moving versus time stopped. And that is not a page that we're going to need to use with this activity. So page again, you should get to menu, mark, waypoints, and on that page I almost always have the students mark where you're at. So if you start in front of the school or behind the school or on the football field, no matter where you start, I would suggest that you mark a spot so that you can say, all right, well, if we're going hunting, I would mark my truck and then I would go hunting and then I would come back to my truck, and I could use the GPS to get me back to that first marked location. So right now we're going to do that. You're going to press enter, and it should give you a little guide. It should say 001 or perhaps another number with a flag kind of in the ground, and it's also asking you if this is okay, and you want to say yes by pressing the enter button. So we've marked it, it goes straight back to the word mark, and then we can do it a second time. So let's try that as well. So we're going to press mark, enter, should give you the next highest number, so perhaps a 2, and then it's going to ask you, is this okay? And we say yes by pressing enter. So now what we want is to have the students find a sample 1 kind of all together. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down a button to waypoints, and we'll highlight waypoints then, so it should be kind of dark, and then we're going to press enter. So once we do that, it is highlighting 0-9 on the left side, and in order to get to the 001 we have to press enter to make it hop over to the actual numbers. This is oftentimes a point where children get frustrated because they go down before they actually press that enter key. So make sure that they press enter, and then that jumps you to 001, 002. So I always tell them to go to the highest number. So if on your GPS it is 002, then you would want to go to that number. And we would press enter. That takes you to something that says review waypoint. It has the number, delete, map, go to, etc. And at this point, I want you to go all the way down using the down arrow to north and west, the latitude and the longitude. And once you're on those bottom two lines and they're highlighted, we want to press enter. So now it should say edit location, and you should have north highlighted, and we're going to push the down arrow to actually go right. So it should be 42.384. Is yours the same? No. Okay, so we're going to change those numbers to make them be the same. So we're going to go to the first wrong number. Again, it should read 42.40, a point or a period, 3, and then an 8. Is the 8 incorrect, Miss Angie?
Nope, the 8 is correct. It's the
last
one.
Okay, the last digit, you would highlight it. You would press enter. And then you go up or down to make it be a 4. And then you press enter to hold the 4 in place. Then you kind of meet at the bottom row, the W, okay? It looks like an H to a lot of children, but it's a W. And then a 092, the degree symbol.
Oops.
25.
I hit the wrong button. Just one second. There we go.
Yep.
You just hit enter to get out. Okay.
Yep, there you go. There you go. So 09225.055. So on that one, is it the bottom, the last digit that's wrong as well?
Actually, it's 65. So we need to change the 6.
So go to that first number that's wrong, the 6, and then you press enter, and you go up or down to get the 6, and you press enter to hold it. And then the last digit should be a 5.
Yep.
And you got that one as well. Perfect. Yep. Then you should meet me at OK. That should be highlighted dark. And we press enter to say yes, that's okay. Then once we've done all of that work, and we have to do it numerous times to go to each of the different locations, we will actually go back up to the word go to, and we will press enter. And now you can see that there should be that arrow. So we're going to follow the arrow and see if we can find this particular geocache. Here's some things that I would tell the children before you go to find this, okay? If you find it, don't blurt it out. Don't say I found it. Don't act like you found it. You have to pretend that you did not find it when we're all together in this bigger group. So if instead you simply come back and stand next to the instructor, that works pretty well, because then not everybody knows exactly which location it is, because some people may have entered their coordinates wrong and things like that. So that would be the number one thing. Don't blurt it out. I know that's hard, but just make sure that they're not doing that. And then in the actual event, what I would do is give a whole bunch of these different numbers, and they can have different like number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is typically how many I use for a average group of 25 or whatever in a class. And then I would have small groups of 2 or 3 go to each of those different ones. So after you teach them how to put those numbers in first, then I would make them in small groups of 2 or 3 do that work on their own, okay? So that's what I kind of have envisioned for your lesson. Now we're gonna follow the GPS, and we're gonna go see if we can find the hidden button that's at a spot here where we are recording in Gowanus Woodland, okay? All right, let's go. There's a woodpecker out here today. He's chatting to us. So I'm about 15 feet away. What does your GPS say?
So it's very hard to pick it up because it's getting my reflection.
Oh.
There we go. Gotta get a little closer to the GoPro.
It should say arriving destination once we get close. That's a hint for the children to start looking with their eyes and not just their GPS unit. And so once you get within that 20 feet, mark or so, you're going to want to make sure that you're looking somewhere. It cannot be hidden in the middle of the grass. Typically, I would not hide it in the middle of the grass, but I could hide it near something. So Miss Angie, if you could scan the kind of like the woods here. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff out there that maybe is not the best to hide it next to, but what is right in front of us then, Miss Angie?
A wood pile.
A wood pile. So is it possible that I could have hidden it at the wood pile then?
Oh, I think so.
I'm within 12 feet right here. So I'm going to start looking.
I'm within 11.4.
11.4.
Ooh,
okay.
suddenly I'm at 7.
Okay, so we're close. So if we scan the wood pile with your eyes, can you find that big button?
I think I found it.
Nice. So then we would leave it here. We would not remove it till the very, very end of the lesson or the end of the day, whichever. And then other students and groups in your PE classes can find them as well. So that's typically how we would do that. Finding the first one together, and then every one after that, we would have cards made 1 through 7, and then you have hidden them ahead of time. So I'm going to show you how to do that next. All right, so in order to hide the geocache or whatever, again, we're using buttons. There's a couple coins in the tub that you can use as well, and so, or even a medicine bottle if you have a few of those, and then you could stick a note in it to make like 7 that say a simple sentence. Typically I just say something like, you know, Janesville students are the best, or something like that, or geocaching is fun, and 2 very little sentences. So if you want to learn how to hide them, what I would do is you can put this anywhere. Okay, I'm just going to set it down here just because we're just doing an example, and then we're going to have to point to the unit again. Okay, so we go to the menu page, so you can page a couple times to get there, and then once mark is highlighted, that's literally all we do to mark the spot where we hid the coin or the pin as well. So once mark is highlighted,
I'm gonna get to mark here.
If you page to get, and you can always use page to go backwards and things like that to move your different. And then once you get to the menu then, and mark is highlighted in all black, then we press enter. It gives you the little guy again, like we did at the very beginning, depending on which video you watch first, I guess. And then we press enter to say, yes, this is where we hid it. So you'll want to hide the 7 or 8. Okay, I would hide 7 for a group of 25-ish, and then I would hide a sample one, which would be number 8 potentially, to do together as a class. And then after you do the sample one together, then let the children go on their own.
I would also say once you mark that, that's where at the bottom of the screen, that's where you're going to get your longitude and latitude.
Yes.
That's where you're going to get that number to write it on the paper.
To write on the key card,
yep.
Yes. Okay.